Okay, so I think I have this figured out here. Just going to close a couple windows. I want to share with you today on inflammation and what the big deal is and how we can address inflammation. Okay, so are you aware of how inflammation damages the body and what it looks like? I was not. And I have been learning a lot of things. And so it's not something that we hear a lot about. And yes, inflammation is our body's positive response to injury. And when we get injured, our body storms at that injury with blood cells to heal it. And that's where the redness and swelling comes from. But many of us experience inflammation on a chronic level. And it's when it is chronic when it actually becomes a real problem. And so things that could increase inflammation, foods that we eat, medication, bacteria, viruses, blood sugar imbalances, chronic stress, poor sleep, environmental toxins, and okay, so we live in a world full of toxins and we do experience stress, don't we? So we get to choose to be proactive in how we reduce the inflammation in our bodies so that we can actually live healthier lives as best as possible, right? So the question is, what effects does long-term inflammation have? What can that look like? Well, you can see fatigue, autoimmune challenges, chronic infections, mouth sores, rashes, skin disturbances, heart disease, obesity, cancer and diabetes, Alzheimer's, dementia, aches and pains, so many things. And inflammation can affect your organs depending on where it settles. For example, inflammation of your heart, myocarditis, may cause shortness of breath or fluid buildup. And inflammation of the small tubes that take air into your lungs may cause shortness of breath as well. Inflammation of your kidneys may cause high blood pressure or kidney failure. And it's important to remember that chronic inflammation should be tackled from multiple angles, including diet and stress management. But if you struggle with inflammation, supplementation is pretty much essential in any plan that any, say, for example, naturopath, integrative MD, functional MD, holistic nutritionist, health coach, they would all recommend. So Plexus fits really well into this plan. And I'm going to share with you a few of the products and why they're beneficial. So, but first, let's talk about how blood sugar balance reduces inflammation. So it's one of the most important factors to keep in mind. And if you remember last week, Sheila shared on blood sugars. And if you haven't seen that video, she did such a good job on sharing that. And you're going to find that really valuable. So go check that out. Remember also, Plexus focuses on the three main pillars of our health, right? So the blood sugar, the inflammation, and the gut health. And they're all so very closely linked and intertwined. So if one is out of balance, there's a good chance that the other two may be as well, or soon could be. And many people don't realize that controlling your blood sugar is actually critical for maintaining an anti-inflammatory state. So let's think about refined sugars, flour, as well as foods with a high glycemic index. Like they jack up the levels of insulin, which is a hormone released by the pancreas. And the glycemic index is a scale rating the speed at which food increases blood sugar. So once released, insulin works to facilitate the movement of sugar into cells for energy, okay? However, when the high glycemic index foods are consumed, there's a hyperinsulin response. And so let's assume for a minute that we're building a shed, okay? Because I know we all build sheds around here. You would buy long 2x4s so you could cut them to size, right? And the body carries out a similar process with fats. I did not know that. There are certain fats like the omega-3s and 6s, and they're used as raw materials to make either pro-inflammatory or anti-inflammatory compounds. Just stay with me here for a second. This is important, okay? Omega-3 fats, which we hear so much about, can only be converted into anti-inflammatory compounds. Omega-6 fats, however, they kind of have a Jekyll and Hyde type personality, and they can either convert to pro-inflammatory compounds or anti-inflammatory. Okay, so here's the kicker though. Insulin, which is what the Slim really focuses on, can control the fate of the omega-6 fatty acid. When there are elevated levels of insulin due to high glycemic index diet, omega-6 fatty acids are skewed towards the pro-inflammatory pathway. Now I'm going to try to say a big word here, creating molecules called prostaglandins. Pro-inflammatory prostaglandins not only increase inflammation, but they also increase clot formation and blood pressure. So, okay, that was a lot of like big words, and yeah, you ought to look a lot of that stuff up. But so you're probably thinking, what can I do to control blood sugar and inflammation if this is such a big problem, right? So Plexus has multiple products, as you know, that target inflammation. And off the top of my head, the Triplex, the Slim, the BioCleanse, the ProBio, Ease Active Collagen Mega X, those are some of the ones that target inflammation, amongst other things. And I want to talk about 4 of those. Okay, so Plexus Slim balances the blood sugar levels. The BioCleanse alkalizes and oxygenates the body down to a cellular level. Okay. ProBio boosts immunity. This is important, therefore balancing the body's natural anti-inflammatory response. And Ease, our 4-ingredient, natural ingredient anti-inflammatory. So let's start with Slim. Slim has anti-inflammatory antioxidants in it. It also decreases your cravings for sugar and unhealthy foods and your propensity to overindulge over time. I can attest to that. That was a really big change for me. And so because of this, you may make better, less inflammatory food choices. And you're wondering, well, what's inflammatory food? Like what are some examples? Okay, I'll give you some. There's simple carbs, junk food, processed foods, sugars. Those all break down to glucose causing inflammation. Okay, processed foods, they're straight up poison. And so now you've got all of this running through your body and your body cannot keep up. And your liver is going to start talking to you. And if you are someone who is very gassy, that's a sign your liver is talking to you. So the diet goal needs to be low carbs, no sugar, real food. And I'm telling you, these products have very much helped me to make those food choices so much easier. It used to be such a struggle for me. Gut health, our ProBio, Vital Biome, X Factor Plus, and the prebiotics in the Slim, the collagen, they all focus on gut health. Just to name some of the products. Let's talk about Ease for a second, because this is one of the key products aside from the Slim that is really going to help you target inflammation. The Ease is designed naturally to decrease inflammation without any of the traditional side effects of medications that may be reached for very often, okay? 4 ingredients. The first one, New Zealand green lipid mussel, helps maintain joint cell structure, flexibility, mobility, and suppleness of joints with natural properties of glucosamine and chondroitin, which aid in building cartilage. Someone may really want to know that, right? The form of omega-3 fatty acids in our Ease is up to 100 times more powerful than any other omega-3 fatty acid in reducing the swelling associated with inflammation, okay? Omega-3 fatty acids provide benefits for our cardiovascular system, for our skin, for our hair, our immune system, and wound healing. It is just a powerhouse. Interesting little fact. Somebody finally noticed that the Maori people who settled in New Zealand around 1300 BC, they never suffered from arthritis or other aches and pains, and a large part of their diet was made up of the green lipid mussels and other seafoods. So, interesting. Second ingredient, bromelain, comes from the juice and stem of a pineapple. It's a protein digesting enzyme that helps soothe and relax tense, inflamed muscles and connective tissue. It's been used to treat a wide range of health problems, ranging from ACL tears, joint and bone pain, asthma, and autoimmune disease, IBS. It's so good for gut-related issues. Ingredient 3, serrapeptase, an enzyme. It's also used for replacement of NSAIDs and often used to treat traumatic injuries, can help prevent blood clots. It's an effective enzyme against inflammation in all forms, inflammation of the joints, the digestive system, as well as other organs. And studies have shown that it can also help with asthma. It helps repair the joint and cartilage damage by supplying chondroitin and glucosamine as well. Last ingredient, turmeric. We're all familiar with turmeric. It's a polyphenol. Turmeric is a powerful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant that increases your heart and your brain health, and has also been shown to treat depression. I don't know if you knew that. It has amazing pain relief benefits, has the ability to heal wounds, protect cognitive abilities, ease menstrual difficulties, reduce inflammation, eliminate depression, alleviate pain, slow the aging process, and protect the digestive tract and prevent cancer. So, you know, people take turmeric so often thinking, okay, this is going to be so good for me in helping reduce inflammation. But something about turmeric is that it's a fat soluble thing. You have to have a fat in order for it to do what it needs to do. And that's where the green lipid muscle comes in. So that combination is really important. Don't just go be taking a bunch of turmeric and think it's going to be your magic solution. Ease is the one that you're going to want to look for. Okay. Last little thing, if you have autoimmune conditions, struggle with achy joints and muscles, and do a lot of physical labor or activity, maybe you feel puffy and inflamed, or struggle with any of the above things that I mentioned, you have inflammation and you will want to address that. And it's not hard. It's not an overnight cure. It's going to take you time, but it is simple to do. Like with these products, it just makes it so simple. And I'm sharing this with you so that you can be proactive for yourself in reducing inflammation in your body and increase your quality of life. And maybe there's someone that you know that really needs to hear this as well. Now you have learned a few things that can help you in sharing with other people. And if you are not using the Slim and Ease, you need to be using the Slim and Ease, and maybe look into some of the other things that I shared with you as far as the other products that focus on that as well. So thanks for letting me pop in here and share with you. I hope that this was valuable for you.